In 1940, a man walked into a Nazi street roundup on purpose. He let them beat him. He let them throw him onto a train. He let them tattoo a number on his arm. Why would anyone choose to become a prisoner in Auschwitz? Because he had a mission no one else was brave enough to attempt. And what he did next stayed hidden from the world for almost 60 years. His name was Witold Pilecki, Polish cavalry officer, a husband, a father, an ordinary man facing extraordinary evil. By 1940, Auschwitz had already become a place where rumors went in and almost nothing came out. The Polish resistance had one question they couldn't answer. What was really happening inside those walls? Pilecki offered an answer that sounded almost unimaginable. Let me get arrested. Let me go in. I'll find out. They said yes. And September 19th, 1940, Witold Pilecki deliberately allowed himself to be captured. Getting arrested was the easy part. Surviving what came after, that was the real mission. Within hours of arriving, 300 men in his transport were already dead. Pilecki wasn't just trying to survive, he had a job to do. Build a spy network inside the most heavily guarded place on Earth. He did it. Prisoner by prisoner, he built an underground resistance cell inside Auschwitz itself. Codename Zal. They smuggled out intelligence, camp layouts, guard rotations, and something the outside world refused to believe. Now, here's the part almost nobody talks about. Because what Pilecki reported, he sent to the people who could have stopped it. And they did nothing. We'll get to exactly why in a minute. But first, you need to understand what he actually saw. By 1941, Pilecki's network was smuggling reports out through sympathetic workers and even hidden inside laundry. He documented the systematic starvation, the medical experiments, and starting in 1942, the gas chambers. He was one of the very first people on Earth to report in writing that the Nazis were running a machine built for mass extermination. Not a labor camp, an extermination camp. He wrote it all down, smuggled it out, trusted that once the Allies knew, they'd act. They didn't. His reports reached London. They reached the Polish government in exile. Some historians believe fragments even reached British intelligence. And the response? Silence. Bureaucratic silence. The kind that gets people killed. Pilecki stayed inside for 2.5 years. Not weeks, not months, years. Organizing revolts, keeping hope alive, waiting for a rescue that experts on the outside kept promising and never delivered. By 1943, Pilecki realized something brutal. No one was coming. If the truth was going to matter, he'd have to deliver it himself. So he did something almost no one ever managed. He planned an escape from Auschwitz. April 27, 1943, Pilecki and 2 other prisoners were assigned to a night shift in the camp bakery outside the main fence. They cut the phone lines, broke through a door, and walked out into the darkness with German patrols within earshot. No dogs found them. No shots were fired. After 3 years of surviving the worst place in human history from the inside, Witold Pilecki simply locked out. You think this is where the story becomes a triumph? A hero delivers the truth. The world listens. Justice happens. It's not. And what happened to him afterward is honestly more disturbing than anything inside the camp. Pilecki delivered his full report in person. Nearly 100 pages, the most detailed eyewitness account of Auschwitz that existed anywhere on the planet at that time. He kept fighting after that in the Warsaw Uprising and beyond, refusing to stop just because he'd survived the impossible once already. Then the war ended. And for a man like Pilecki, that should have meant the story was over. Instead, Poland fell under Soviet control, and the man who had spent years exposing the truth about one totalitarian regime was arrested by another. The new communist government accused him of espionage. He was tortured, tried in a show trial with a predetermined outcome. On May 25th, 1948, the man who volunteered to walk into Auschwitz, who spent years building a resistance network inside the deadliest place in human history, who escaped, who delivered the first detailed report of the Holocaust to the Allies, was executed by the very people he thought he'd helped liberate. His grave was never found. For over 50 years, his name was erased from Polish history books. Pilecki's report sat buried for decades, first ignored by the Allies, then suppressed by the communists who executed him. It wasn't until the 1990s, after the fall of communism in Poland, that his story finally started reaching the public. Historians now consider his intelligence report one of the earliest and most detailed first-hand accounts of the Holocaust ever produced. He volunteered for the worst place on earth, so the rest of the world could know the truth. And the world took over 50 years to say his name. If you want more stories like this, the ones history almost erased, subscribe, because I'm covering one every week. And tell me in the comments, is there a World War II story you think deserves way more attention? I read every single one, and a lot of these episodes start right there.